Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back. It's time to update the Season 3 tier list for The War Within. We've been playing some more PTR and trying out some more specs and also looking at the changes that's been coming. We have been having a couple of changes lately to the tier sets and also to damage profiles and so on. And TLDR for this is that every class and spec is viable pretty much up until like plus 15. And after that, it really starts to matter. So keep that in mind. And also, feel free to leave your thoughts in the comments. I love to hear what you guys are thinking. And let's have a look at what we have been seeing and my thoughts so far. I also added 2 new layers, S plus and A plus, to the tier list. And I'm gonna keep this very short and simple. I'm not gonna be babbling on too much about everything, so let's jump straight into it, okay? So what I've seen is that first off, BM Hunter, I do think that they go from S to A plus with the change of the damage and the nerfs that they got. I still think they're good, but not as good as Marksman. Marksman is gonna stay on S tier. I think they're doing crazy good, and the damage is just bonkers on Hunter. Balance Druid is going to take a leap down to I think the balance is down to A actually. The nerf to the damage for them and the tier set is actually hitting them kind of hard. They're still good, but not as good as they used to be. Frost DK is going to be S plus for me. They are doing crazy good. Even after the nerfs, they're doing crazy damage, and single target damage is insane. Yeah, they're just really good overall. Rot Warrior, I'm gonna save them for S tier. They did get some changes to the tier set, so I do think that Mountain Thane is doing better right now than Colossus, which is kind of nice to see. It's a good change for threat and everything, so I think that can be really good actually. Let's see, Enhancement Shaman. Oh, I actually think that Enhancement Shaman after nerfs are A plus, not S tier anymore. I think they're doing really good though. The damage is still really good, and it's just a very demanding spec to play. Like, you really do need to nail your rotation to make it really good. I do think that Resto Druid is S plus. I myself played some Resto Druid yesterday, and the healing is insane. Your S output is just maniac. You have really good dispels, utility. I really do love Resto Druid, so yeah, they're bonkers right now. So I'm kind of scared that they might get nerfed, but also they haven't been meta for a little while, so maybe that's copium. I don't know. I hope not, but yeah, you never know. I'm leaving Arcane Mage on S, and Shadow Priest also, I'm moving them down to A plus after nerfs. They're still doing good damage and everything, but yeah, before the nerfs, they could just blast anything. Like they top the meters no matter what, pretty much. So I think that they're in a good spot right now. Brewmaster is still doing crazy good damage, good self-sustain. You cannot survive everything by yourself. You're still reliant on a healer, but yeah, the damage profile is just so good right now. And I do think that VDH is going to be S plus as well, to be honest. The self-sustain is insane. Utility wise, it's really good as well. Maybe not so good for group utility, but like the grips and silence and everything, it's really good. And also decent damage. It could be a little bit better. I do wish that they buffed the DPS on VDH to make them more fun on all tanks actually. Tanks are lacking some damage, which that feels kind of sad because it's so much fun to contribute to the damage as a tank as well, and same for healers actually. Disc Freeze is still going to be S plus. They are also doing crazy good healing, especially if you play Void Weaver right now. They're doing really good. Oracle is still good, but Void Weaver is crazy nice. They actually do put out some really good damage as well compared to what it used to be. So yeah, I do like that. Prot Pally. I did play some Prot Pally, and I have to say that I do think that Prot Pally is S tier tank right now. Group utility really good. Playing Lightsmith feels really good. It's a few times where you feel like you run out of defenses. Yeah, very rarely, but I think overall they're doing really good. Sad to see the nerfs to the damage profile, but yeah, I think overall they're doing crazy good. It feels solid. And Holy Pally. I think that Holy Paladin is A+. I have seen some Holy Paladins do really good. And it's same thing there. Holy Paladin is kind of a complex healer to play. If you don't know what you're doing, you're probably gonna be struggling, and it takes a lot of knowledge, and also it is kind of demanding on the group to be aware of when to use defensives to not put too much pressure on the paladin. But yeah, overall really good. Feral Druid I'm gonna leave at A. I think they're pretty much at the same position as Balance right now. They're also doing good DPS, lacking the beam of course that the Balance Druid have, but overall really good. I'm gonna move Survival Hunter up to A+. Survival Hunter is doing crazy damage right now. Holy cow. I've seen some Survival Hunters just do maniac numbers, but I think that's the same thing. It's a very demanding spec. Requires you to really know how to play it. But overall, really good DPS. And they do have good utility as well with traps and everything. So as long as you know how to utilize your spec, they're really good. Fire Mage is going to jump up to S for me. Yeah, they're doing really good after the buffs. And I think that Frost and Fire right now are doing pretty much the same after the buffs. They're doing really good. I'm kind of maybe Fire Mage is S+ actually, because the damage profile was crazy. And I do think that I think one mage spec is going to get some big nerfs. And to be honest, I'm not gonna lie, I really kind of hope it's gonna be Arcane, because it's so sad to see the top specs not changing in a season, I think. So it would be nice in some way to see Arcane Mage dropping to like A+ maybe, and have Frost and Fire being two viable specs instead for one season now. Resto Shaman. I do think that Resto Shaman is performing good. I think they're S tier, and utility wise they're insane as a healer. Really short kick, cap totem, yeah, you have earth grab totem, poison totem for Arcara, and yeah, they're really good. And I do think that they're easier to pick up and perform good than Holy Paladin, and then they are doing better than Holy Paladin, I think, and also have better utility, and therefore I'm putting them on S. Mistweaver. I'm gonna leave Mistweaver on A tier. Mistweaver is a good healer, really good, and really fun as well, according to me. It's just that they are very dependent on what group you're playing with. It requires a certain composition to make them really viable. I am going to put Preservation Evoker on A+ though, because they're doing really good. The only problem with not putting them on S tier instead is probably that they are way too complex for a new healer to pick up and perform really good. They are really demanding as a healer, like insanely demanding. As a rogue, dang, as a rogue is absolutely A+. They're doing crazy good. Same thing, I think that Asa and Outlaw are kind of performing the same way right now. Maybe I'm not sure if Outlaw. No, I actually do think that they're pretty even. Yeah, utility wise, a rogue is really amazing if they know how to use everything in their toolkit, because they have a lot of things going on. But yeah, really nice to see rogues performing good again as well. Especially Outlaw. They have been climbing lately. Nice to see. Destro Warlock. I actually think that Destrolock is A+ as well. Or no, yeah, I think they're A+. And the same thing with Demo is also A+ after the buffs. They're doing really good. I think that Demo is bringing more stuns than Destro, and therefore they might actually be a little bit better. Personally, I prefer Destro over Demo, but that's a preference for me. And then we have Windwalker. I'm gonna leave Windwalker on A as well, together with Mistweaver, because we have the same thing here. They are very comp dependent as well. They can do really good, but they have their target cap and everything, so yeah, I'm leaving them on A tier. Ellie Shaman is also... Yeah, Ellie Shaman is going to be A tier, because Enhancement is performing better than Ellie, and I do think that Enhancement is a more reliable DPS. Like, they have more sustained DPS and not as RNG based as Elemental, and that makes them better as well. Havoc Demon Hunter. I'm not gonna lie, I actually do think that Havoc is, to me, I would say that it's an S tier right now. If you're not playing with VDH, bring a Havoc is really good for the buff as well, and they're doing insane damage at the moment. A good Havoc is pumping the numbers. Like, they can really beat most DPS at the moment, actually. As long as you don't do Giga pulls, because then you do have other specs that can outshine them because of target caps and AoE caps and things like that. So, but yeah, overall, really, really good. And also the funnel single target damage is really good. Guardian Druid is going to stay down on B. They're still lacking DPS. They're lacking some survivability, I feel like. And they're absolutely lacking group utility. And as of right now, it's better to bring a Balanced Druid or a Feral Druid. And also, if Resto Druid becomes a meta healer, then there's no need to bring a Guardian Druid for the buff even. So yeah, that's kind of tough. We did see buffs to Ret, so I think that Ret is A+ with the DPS. The only sad thing to see with Ret is that I think that the bloat of amount of players playing it makes it kind of difficult to see, because it requires a certain skill level on every class and spec to see a really good player. And many Ret Paladins don't use the toolkit they have. They fall over very easily if they are not aware of what they're doing, unfortunately. But the DPS is crazy good, and you don't need to be a great player to do really, really good DPS as a Paladin, which is nice to see. Makes them very viable for a lot of people, and that's probably why we see so many of them. Sub-Rogue, I'm leaving them at A. They have good DPS, but they still have the issue, I feel like, that the only time you have really good DPS is with your cooldowns, and then you kind of fall off pretty fast. So you're very, very cooldown reliant as a Sub-Rogue, which has always pretty much been the case, but it's a little bit too much now. Like, your sustained DPS is not really keeping up with the rest of the DPS, I feel like. Overall, good, but yeah, it's not gonna bring them up to A+ or S. Sorry about that. And Dev Evoker, I actually think that Dev Evoker, they also got some buffs. They're A tier right now instead of B. They can still do good DPS, but they are very squishy still. And yeah, I don't know. I think you're gonna be better off bringing like an Ellie Shaman or Enhancement Shaman instead of a Dev Evoker, but still a good DPS. Good DPS for sure. Just very squishy and don't really have anything great to bring to the party either. Like Bloodlust, yes, but then you have so many other specs with Bloodlust right now, like Hunter, yeah, Mage, yeah, there's just a ton of them. I'm gonna move both warrior specs. I'm gonna be completely honest, but this is what I think. I have not played with any Arms Warrior or Fury Warrior, because most people play Prot Warrior instead right now. But I do think that if you're not having a Prot Warrior, I do think Arms is going to be the best choice still for DPS. When I have just tested the DPS on dummies, but feels like Arms is doing better. And yeah, the target cap on Fury is holding them back still. But yeah, I still think that it's very comp dependent. And if Prot Warrior is gonna perform this good, I do think that most people is going to bring out Prot Warrior instead of Arms or Fury, but they're still playable and viable in every way, yes. And then we have Afflock. Affliction Lock is also a very, very demanding spec to play. And it is kind of a struggle to keep up with dots all the time and dotting up everything, and you don't always have the time to ramp up, which makes it kind of difficult in some situations. And therefore I think that Destro and Demo is better than Affliction at the moment, which is kind of I love Affliction Warlock. I think they're freaking awesome, but yeah, right now I'm gonna put them at A. They're doing crazy damage if you're really good at Affliction, and bring good utility, but still more stuns and things on Demo. So A for them. Blood DK, I'm gonna put them at B. They're doing crazy good self-sustain and also decent damage at the moment. Kind of lacking some, but yeah, it's decent. But they still don't. Yeah, they still are very reliant on long cooldowns compared to a VDH or a Brewmaster or a Prot Warrior or even Prot Pally. So yeah, I still think that they need some rework to be viable again. Unholy DK. Unholy DK did see some buffs. They got some love. And I do think that they can be A+ actually. If you're not playing Frost DK, I think it's worth bringing Unholy DK. They are getting buffs, and I still have a feeling that they might get even more buffs again very soon. Because they are just a really good specking class to bring. And Frost DK performing this good compared to Unholy, I have a feeling that either Frost is gonna get nerfed or they're gonna buff Unholy. Augmentation, I'm just gonna leave it down at C. I'm sorry, but yeah, I don't see that being played. I really hope it's not gonna be played. I'm sorry to say. I think that they kind of ruin a lot of opportunities for a lot of other specs if they're being played at the moment. If we're gonna see augmentation again, I really hope that we get some more support specs than just AUG, because that would make it more balanced. Holy Priest. I'm gonna put Holy Priest at A. They can do some crazy healing, some mana issues, can really pump numbers though, but yeah, Disc is gonna outperform them, I think, always in Mythic Plus environments. But yeah, it's still not a bad healer. In certain comps, it can absolutely work out, I think, but it's a very comp specific healer, I would say. And that, my friends, will be the update for the tier list for now. Until we see some more changes on PTR and I get to test some more, this is gonna be it for now from me. Please leave a like to the video, subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to catch me live on Twitch at Delumiaa, on Kick at Delumiaa Official, or here on YouTube. And I hope to see you next time. Take care. Peace.
Dancing on the keys so fast. Build the skills that are built to last. Every click, every move so tight. Practice all day till we get it right. One macro a day makes you stronger, they say. Keep on grinding, don't you ever sway. Level up, rise above the fray. One macro a day to improve your gameplay.